Hey you, wishing you a lovely day, because it is over here. Sun is coming up. I'm in the woods. And you hear the birds, etc. Lovely, lovely, lovely. As I mentioned before, we started a new era. Call it fifth dimension. We call it over here the new balance energy. Because it's the new balance between the masculine energy and the feminine energy. And we come from an era that says masculine energy is superior, is dominant, and feminine energy is not. You see that masculine energy, for instance, guys say, I am strong, women are not strong. Bunch of hokum, you know. It's not true. Women are equally as strong as men, perhaps not in a physical, because men may have more developed muscle tissue, etc. But besides that, men are not superior to women, and women are not superior to men. It's equal. They always have been, except we're coming from a time frame, from an era where masculine perspective energy had to be dominant. And now we're entering an era where they are equal again. When we enter a new era like we did, and this era started in March of 2020, and it lasts 13,000 years, and in 13,000 years the same thing, the same change of consciousness in some other era and some other direction will happen. And after 26,000 years, the next, it's just an evolutionary leap, and it happens every 13,000 years. But every time this happens, this leap, this change of consciousness, then apparently life seems to change the rules of the game. It's like they all of a sudden play a different game. We are used to play the game of the rational thinking mind, because we do everything with a rational thinking mind, and now all of a sudden life expects of us in some way to let go 100% of that intuition, that rational minded thing, bring it back down to 20-30%, and use intuition mainly. 60% intuition, 20-30% rational mind, and 10-15% miscellaneous things. Well, let me explain how these percentages, how you can translate that back into your daily life. When you have to make a decision currently in this old world, you think about it, the idea comes in, you think about it, and then you come with a conclusion or a decision what you're going to do. In this new world, that's different. Something comes in, a challenge or a situation. You feel with your heart energy, with your intuition, with your inner knowing, with your soul, whatever it is. What feels right? What will love do? What will wisdom do? That type of thing. These are the questions you're going to ask yourself. Once you made a decision based on your heart, you use your rational mind, you bring it back from holiday and say, okay, I've made my decision. Now you have to create and manifest this, and I need your help to do that. So the role of the ego is completely changing from being dominant like this to be more of a supporting role. Your ego becomes of service, and we're not used to have an ego of service. Life is changing the game, and by that also changing the rules of the game. One of these rules is that in the old world we take life very serious. Oh my goodness, so very serious. in the new world, we need to learn to play again. Play with life. Don't take everything so serious. It's because of this state of mind, of rational-minded thinking, that we took everything so serious. We're taking it far too serious. Let's face it. We need to learn to play again with aspects of life. Another one is quantity of life and quality of life. In my country, which is the Netherlands, it's a country that has a culture of saving money, not spending too much, you know. And I think we're internationally well known for not spending too much money. But it made us rich throughout hundreds of years. An economy that is one of the richest in the world. And what they do over here is, you need to work hard. You need to work very, very hard and not spend too much. Then that's, in a way, in essence, what they did for hundreds of years. And there's still something in there. So, for instance, food, not for everybody, but food here is just to nourish, to give the body energy. It's not to enjoy it. Of course, they enjoy some taste, but it's more to, okay, we need to feed the body so we can go out fishing again and provide for food, or go out on the field, you know, to get some corn, or, you know, that type of thing, to plow or whatever. People over here have this tendency, I always call it a sandwich cheese mentality, which means you have lunch, sandwich, cheese, simple, eat it, go out, work again, because time is money. But if we go on holiday, for instance, to the Mediterranean, Italy, España, Greece, France, then you see a totally different culture in regard to food, in regard to doing lunch. They can spend an hour, 2 hours on lunch and enjoy a good conversation and prepare the food and enjoy the food and enjoy the taste of food. If I taste, for instance, tomatoes over here, then these are water bullets or something, water things. They taste watery, if that is a word. But in Greece and in Italy and in Spain, they taste, they're full of flavor, they're full of taste. Oh, wow. And these people that prepare the food over there, they have such a feeling for good ingredients, for making something easy so special. That is quality of life, enjoying the quality of life, enjoying the good food, enjoying the good talk, the good conversation. In my country, they don't do that, because time is money. We need to learn in this country to enjoy the quality of life, for instance. But one of the main things that is important in this new balanced energy, a game changer in a way, is know thyself. To get to know yourself, you know, who you are. It sounds a bit odd, but it is what is necessary. We think that we know ourselves very well. Let's face it. If I would say to you, on a scale from 0 till 10, how well do you know yourself? So 0, you don't know anything about yourself, and 10, you know yourself. There's nothing to learn about you. You know everything about yourself. I put my fingers here on my knees, and you just think about how well do you know yourself. Am I close when I say, it's this, 8? The majority of people say that they know themselves 6, 7, 8, you know, they know themselves very well. At least that's what they believe. You're not getting towards 6, 7 or 8. You're not getting to 0 0.1. You do not know yourself. Nobody knows themselves. It takes a lot of effort and time to get to know yourself. The image you have of yourself is formed by yourself and by the world around you. And there's nothing wrong with that. By what you have accomplished, what type of education you had, what kind of job you have, what type of friends you have. That's your image of the world. But that's not you. That's just a small part of you. It's like compared to a small tree here in the woods. That's the image you have. And in fact, you are this really old, wise, broad oak tree, you know? The size of, you can drive a car underneath it like a sequoia tree, you know? That type of wise oak you are. But you do not remember being this oak. But you are. This new balance energy change in consciousness allows you to dive into that oak tree metaphor, to find out who you are, because the more you know yourself, the better you understand yourself, the better you understand the world around you. The easier it is to get around in this world, to understand how things are happening and what you can change and how you can play with life. Again, there we go. Play with life. Not take everything so serious. We believe that when we go to school and we have been given certificates or diplomas or whatever that is, and it's hanging on your wall, that this is who you are. No. There are so many talents, abilities and gifts that you have that you cannot train for. Let's call them soft skills that you cannot train for, but that's within you. They do not reward it in any way, but you still have them. So if you have, for instance, this natural gift of just listening to people, when people tell them their worries or tell them things, you just have the ear to listen. That's a natural gift. You cannot teach this to people. If you teach this to people and you don't have that gift yet, what will happen is that perhaps they teach it in coaching things, I do not know. What will happen is that you listen to a person and then you say, okay, so what are we going to do next? You should have kept your mouth shut, perhaps sighed or whatever, and said, okay, let's wait, for instance. It's, you know by heart what you need to do and when to do something. You cannot teach this to people. But there are no certificates for doing that. Nobody is praising you for that or paying you for that, because it's not being paid for. Because there is no school that teaches you these things. And yet you have a lot of these things that make up who you are. I have a background in the IT world, and these are things that I have been trained to do. So I read books, went to trainings, etc. I left the IT world many years ago. The things that I do now, I have not been trained to do by any school. It's an accumulation of all these soft skills, of all these talents, abilities I give that stem from past lives, emerge in this life because I do the things that I'm apparently supposed to be doing. It feels good to do them by heart. And all of a sudden I'm doing these things that I'm good at and they're going easy, simple. And I notice that I'm good at it because this is who I am. I still use things from my IT past every now and then when my computer breaks down. So this knowledge is not gone, but it's not so prominent anymore. Know thyself. Who are you? What are you? Why are you here? What are you coming to do? Figure it out. Make lists of who you are. If I ask you to give me 10 of your talents, abilities, and gifts, most people at 5 or 6 say, wait. There is more? Hold on. There's more? I can't think about, but there is more. Everybody does that. But if every time a soft skill or something that you're good at, if you write them on a piece of paper, on a list, and you do that for a couple of weeks, you will be surprised how many things you put on your list. Things that you can't come up in your mind because you don't think about it. Ask people that know you very well to give you 3 things that you're good at, and write them down on your list. You will be astounded, amazed about who you are and what you are. You are so much more than just a certificate on the wall that says, we rewarded you for following this training or whatever. Now you are this and now you are that. Yeah. No way important. It's just a part of you. It's not who you are. Know thyself. Know yourself. Know who you are. Figure it out. The more you know yourself, the easier it becomes to live in this new balanced energy world, to play this intuitive game. Makes life so much easier, because all these things, all these abilities, talents and gifts that you have, you need in this new world. All the things that they taught you at school that present you with certificates and all these things, you need it in the old world, which makes sense and it's okay. But in the new world, the game has changed, so you need to change as well. So learn to play the new rules of the game. You will find the new rules of the game on newbalanceenergy.com, because there's a table, a comparison with the old rules and the new rules, and so many things are going to change. I hope you do so as well. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.